The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Caleb Peake, joined by Jeremy Greene and Tank Spencer. Here in the Wicked Weed Studio, live in Asheville, North Carolina, brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing. Drink different on this Wednesday morning. I am the marshmallow stuck between the two big white pieces of bread. So
I never thought somebody would make me look tan. But I swear to God, I look like the tannest human on this set by 10 shades.
We got the old fluffernutter going on here. We got two pieces of like raw cookie dough with the icing in the middle. It's like a double doozy day.
Why is it 70 degrees outside and I'm wearing long sleeves? It's because you can see the veins and the arteries in my transparent skin. So I'll debut that later on in the show. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday morning. We got a lot to talk about. We've got some troll. I mean, it's nothing new. We get trolls every single day of the week, but
yep.
I'm going to do the Brian Haynes and say I love trolls.
Of course. Who doesn't love trolls? Especially
I love them more than most.
Oh yeah.
Because I respond viscerally.
We are going to respond viscerally in the second half of the show. We blocked out 30 full minutes to talk about the hate that we're receiving. Hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
And we are going to let the hate flow in
Absolutely.
Just a little while. We've also got the big news out of Jacksonville. Urban Meyer reuniting with Tim Tebow, and Jeremy's warned me to give him plenty of space for that segment, so he's got something to say about the Tim Tebow segment. We'll get to that later on. But the big news this morning, and really the big news later on tonight, 8 o'clock tonight, 8 p.m. is when the full unabated 2021 NFL schedule will drop, and we're beginning to get a few clues trickling in here to the Wicked Weed studio about how Week 1 is going to work out. This has been confirmed via CBS. The first game of the season, the Thursday night football game on September 9th, the Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
I don't care.
Damn,
I don't care if it is Tampa Bay. This is the first game of the season. I'm ready to watch it.
Fired up. Hey, look, we knew that. I mean, we know this day's coming. We know that they're getting the rings. It's going to be a big show. Tom Brady, all this, the schmaltz is going to go on. But the fact that we're playing the Dallas freaking Cowboys, it warms my soul, because I was really glad that we didn't end up with a situation of they're going to put just some, shitty matchup on here. Obviously, they're not going to give you like the Jacksonville Jaguars or something to start out the season. But I'm glad they went down this path of you've got two teams that you can highlight on that opening night, all of the hope that is there for the Dallas Cowboys in this season with Dak Prescott coming back, going up against the defending Super Bowl champions. I'm so excited.
The Tampa Bay defense has added some key pieces over the course of the offseason. You're talking about Shaq Barrett coming down the middle, but Levante David is somebody you've got to keep an eye on as well. And the new linebacker you added in the first round of the draft. Tampa Bay's defense looking pretty fearsome.
That's not the game I want to talk about.
That's not the game he wants to talk about. He wants to talk about his New York Jets are going to be opening up this season at the Carolina Panthers. Bank of America Stadium, baby. Sam Darnold against his old team. The debut of Zach Wilson. And it's all going to be there right in front of Jeremy Greene's face.
Oh, I'll be there.
I
got news for
absolutely.
you. I'm going. One way or the other, I don't give a shit what I have to do. I will be in that stadium. I will be on that sideline. You mark my damn words, I said it. And if you've ever seen my wife, you'll realize that Jeremy tends to get what he wants.
It's a good thing, too, Jeremy knows the connection that can get field passes.
Well, we
Bingo.
We saw the schedule released this morning. We got confirmation that this is actually happening, and the first reaction I got from both of you guys was no way. There's no way that this can be the Week 1 game. Why was that so out of the realm of possibility?
It makes sense in that you've got Darnold playing his former team. Mm-hmm. Those things make sense. It's just I didn't know they were releasing Week 1 this early. I didn't know that you would start getting leaks like this. They've done this before. This is not the first time they've done this. But I thought with all of I thought they would keep a lid on it. And then I heard leaks and went, that can't be true.
But it is.
But it is true.
It is true.
CBS and Fox putting out some of their Week 1 games. We're piecing this together as the networks confirm. what their week 1 schedule is going to be. And this is all part of the plan. This is the NFL knows how to rule the fucking day. This is why every TV show, every talk show on the radio is all consumed with the NFL, because the NFL knows how to grasp the news cycle.
They own a day of the week, for God's sake.
They own every day of the week. Let's be honest. At this point, the NFL owns every day of every week. I mean, for God's sakes, you've got the NBA playoff push going on. You got crazy things happening in Major League Baseball, more no-hitters than we've seen, in a single 2-month stretch of the openings of a season. And here everybody's talking about Tim fucking Tebow. It's because the NFL is our lifeblood.
There's 2 seasons. There's football season and there's waiting for football season.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get ancillary people like us that I'm into MMA and boxing, and y'all are into baseball. The Canadians are into hockey. And I didn't mean Canadians. I meant that's my new name for our Canadian friends at Armchair Commentary.
Nice.
The Canadians.
The Canadians.
Neither one's named Dan, and I don't give a shit.
It's all good. Doesn't matter.
I don't care. I call them the Canadians forever. But this is what we're into. Think about this. There's a whole spectacle around the NFL putting out what order teams are going to play in. Mm-hmm. Do you think the NBA could do this? And they have. Not like this, where they dissect every game, and they've done schedule release shows.
Oh, yeah.
Got like 60,000 viewers total.
That's it.
The
Nobody
NFL's
cares.
going to do 4 million.
Mm-hmm. Well,
between NFL Network and ESPN tonight?
It's because it's such a different sport. Like with all the other sports, with basketball, the season's too damn long. Baseball, the season's 2 times as damn long.
Same situation,
right?
Yeah.
Like you can't have. There's no mystery in it. There's no wrap up, because people don't pay attention to the NBA regular season as much until they get to like this point. And even now, people don't care because they know how the playoffs are going to start out. I mean, we're going to have this fun little play-in game, but all in all, there's not mass appeal. Mm-hmm. Nobody really cares. We'll talk about it because it's going to be the next steps to the championship, but it's not as crucial. Major League Baseball can't do this. What are they going to do? Break it down series by series? They're going to, we've got a 4-game series here and a 3-game series here.
The Yankees and the Red Sox, the first of their 17 series is April 14th. Woohoo!
Right. The Yankees and the Red Sox play each other 19 times a year.
Mm-hmm. I think Chuck just broke my brain, because he's absolutely right.
What?
He said, I predict Sir Purr will get abused from drunk Jeremy. Where is the Kevin Vick Memorial Bell? Because that is the truest statement ever.
Yeah. Oh, you threw it over there. We were playing the schedule game yesterday.
In the production booth.
Oh,
shit!
Screwed that one.
We remember Kevin Vick.
Anyway. I don't believe we've mentioned, by the way, we are live from the Wicked Weed studio. Check them out at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, drink different. And of course, we're going to be live here in the studio tonight for the schedule release. Live reactions.
Drinking Wicked Weed beers.
Drinking Wicked Weed beers.
You know
I love it. Are we finally fixing the tap?
That's something we could set somebody on today.
Yeah, we should probably fix the tap, and then we don't,
I thought that delivery was
I feel like
taking
it
a
would be
long
more
time.
economical to do it that way than go buy beer.
Well, here's the thing. It's apparently hard to find 93 octane gas. Well, it's hard to find gas that goes in that keg, too.
It's just CO2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you put it in the bottle? I have the bottle, and I know where the gas is. There's a middleman there, and you see how the hands are connected.
We can't just shove that nozzle up Brian's ass and
doesn't work that way. No, we cannot do that.
And fill it that way.
Not this early in the morning.
So it's still early. We could probably make that work.
Wait for that to loosen
he's still
just a
groggy
little bit.
yeah, he's still groggy enough. He'll go for anything.
He's borderline sedated. Sedated.
No, we'll be live tonight with the schedule reactions, but this is how you do it. In my opinion, people are like, they shouldn't, leak this out. It should be more of an event. I disagree fully.
Well,
you need to leak this stuff out over the day. Keep people interested in the tonight when it all pays off with the analysis, the great analysis that we're going to give tonight.
100%.
Totally professional.
Jets,
right.
13-4, no big deal. What up?
All right, Greene.
Usual.
No homer.
No homer.
No homer. Hashtag no homer.
Yeah.
I'm putting
17-0.
By the way, I needed to figure out what the shirt for this month is.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/the Sportsocracy. Feel free to see all of the lovely things that go on Patreon. Mm-hmm. Our shirt for this month is #NoHomer.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's happening.
I like that.
#NoHomer.
Yeah. So if you can keep saying Jets 13-4, don't give me shit when I keep saying Bucks 17-0. Stop that.
Give me a break.
Better chance we go 13-4 than
Bullshit.
you go 17-0.
Jam those damn cannons.
There has never been. I'm gonna use one of your lines. That is the dumbest thing you've ever said.
I disagree for the square.
This week 1 schedule. I mean, it's got some great matchups in it.
Well, it's flush with good matchups.
Steelers and Bills right out of the gate. The Bills should win that one, but Pittsburgh should put up a little bit of
bad for Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Oh God, Josh Allen's already scored.
That's going to be bad
he's
for
already
Pittsburgh.
scored. Like a frat boy at a sorority house. Josh Allen's already scored.
How many times has Najee Harris fumbled by this point? At least once, maybe twice.
You know, that's something.
I don't know.
We have to talk about this just because this has been talked about a lot.
Okay.
The Rookie of the Year odds.
Mm-hmm.
Najee Harris is plus 1,000, which means you bet $100, and if you're right, you win 1,000. Why has Jeremy already bet $500 on that?
So you can make what, 50,000?
5,000.
5,000.
No, math.
Oh yeah,
Radio,
absolutely.
That's why I meant it.
You'd be dumb not to take those
100%.
odds. I mean,
Do you know
plus
how many?
1,000 is crazy.
I want to test the two of you and see how close you can get to this.
Okay.
Of the last 8 offensive rookies of the year,
Yep.
how many of them have been quarterbacks?
Of the last 8,
Of the last 8,
2,
3.
Yeah.
How many have been wide receivers?
1.
1. 4 of them been running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Najee Harris is without a doubt in the best spot to win Rookie of the Year. I saw those odds and went, I feel like you did that wrong.
Yeah.
Because you're lucky to get
Justin
2 years out of a
Fields
running
is
back.
half in my head, he's half as likely to win Rookie of the Year as Najee Harris.
Mm-hmm.
His odds are twice what Najee's are.
And he'll probably play half a season less than Najee.
100%.
That is crazy.
That's insane.
He's plus mine jumping on it. I'm getting better odds than you. Plus 1,100 for Kyle Pitts.
I don't hate that. The
had to
problem
see
is
that
how
coming.
many people are in that offense.
I mean, that's true. But
Somebody one of
also,
those-
how many opportunities is Kyle Pitts going to get because Julio Jones is only going to play half the games?
And you could very well be right on that.
Because at this point in his career, I feel like he's first, second quarter, and then maybe he'll play the rest of the game.
I mean, and you could very well be right on that. I look at Najee Harris and go, that's a guy that I know is going to get 250 touches this year, no matter what. Mm-hmm. I
No
don't
doubt.
feel that way about anybody else. And the only quarterback that I know definitively is going to start week 1 is Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
And they're going to be horror awful.
Yeah.
Sorry, Roy.
Trevor's plus 300, and I don't see any path to him winning.
That will not be the last mean thing I say about the Jacksonville Jaguars today.
Oh, we've got a lot more to come with Jacksonville coming up.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about that next. Right now, I want to talk about this matchup. Arizona Cardinals at the Tennessee Titans. That's a CBS kickoff, 1 o'clock, coming up on September 12th. And that is a hell of a game to get the 2021 season started.
It is, and that has opening day letdown for Jeremy written all over it to me.
Yeah?
It does. I mean, it's in Nashville. They are going to pound the ball hard, just like Tennessee always does. And it's going to be a real test for the Arizona defense.
Which is better
coming
than
right
you
out the
think it
gate.
is.
Oh, I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. All I'm saying is that's a game that I could see ending up being a 32-28 nail biter down to the end.
Mm-hmm. Couple of high-powered offenses.
Mm-hmm. And you get one good home run from Derrick Henry.
I think you believe in
Could be a
Arizona
letdown.
so much less than I do.
No, I think I believe in Tennessee more than you do.
Oh,
I think that's what it is.
You know why? Because who's their head coach again? Oh yeah, Mike Vrabel. As long as Mike Vrabel is the head coach of the Tennessee Titans,
Yeah.
hey, I'm Seacrest out.
Do you think all their success was because of Arthur Smith, and there's going to be a massive dip after he left?
do.
Okay.
I do, because I think Arthur Smith's a damn smart guy. By the way, that's why I think the Falcons are going to be better than you think they will.
Okay.
Because Arthur Smith he's got a beautiful mind.
Right.
I mean, you listen to this dude talk. First of all, he looks like a guy that you probably didn't have lunch with in high school. Just throwing that out there. He looks like a guy that probably ate with his pet rock.
Right.
And I feel like he's trying to take revenge on all of the jocks by beating them at their own game.
Okay.
I do think there will be a regression with the Tennessee Titans. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be drastic. It's just a lot of, and there were several Titans trolls that they didn't make the cut for this this Trolls Part 2.
Right.
But I have gotten a lot of shit about the Titans. A lot. Because I'm just not as dead set that they're better than the Colts.
And do you think it takes a culture change in Tennessee? Do you think you have to get away from the quarterback there, from Tannehill? Is Tannehill capable of getting you a ring? Because I don't think that he is.
Getting you a ring, no. Can he win you divisions? Can he keep you relevant? Yes. I don't think he'll ever be the starting quarterback in a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I think now that you've lost the mad scientist, I think there will be a regression there.
Right.
For Tennessee, that's I have to think that's got to be. Wait, what's up?
I was just looking at the comments here, and Stephen Tao wants to know. Just curious, what did Henry do in his last game?
That would be not much for 500, Alex.
That would be sucked real hard and got stiff-armed by the Baltimore Ravens.
Right. By the way, I'm really
that's the answer he was getting at.
I'm glad you mentioned that because ESPN gave us an idea, and we're going to do this next year. You remember I told you the analysis from the analyst while they were watching the games?
Yes.
Was really intriguing to me.
And you want to do that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We won't be able to telestrate things on the screen.
Right.
But I have an idea. I have an idea of how I can telestrate it and not run afoul of the NFL.
Are you going to draw X's and O's? Is that what this is going to do?
It's not going to be X's.
Is this going to be like Lou Holtz Day?
Oh, no.
You're going to be Lou Holtz breaking down film?
The way the tight end ran across the middle right here was so great by so route runs and tight ends. Then he finds himself open on the backside, and that's how you play football.
No, I actually have a funnier idea than that.
Against the whiteboard?
Nope.
Oh.
No, it's funnier than that.
Okay. All right.
It's funnier than that.
Oh, you don't want to reveal it right now? Okay.
Save that for tonight.
There is an animated series that just so happened to lose their copyright not that long ago.
Okay.
And I want to use all of their characters as the little pieces.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I see where this is going.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not sure I like where it's going, but I see where it's going.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get the rest of week one out of the way before we got to move on.
Yeah.
Chargers at the football team, Los Angeles at Washington, and week one.
That's going to be a
Cleveland.
game that gets gleaned over, but will be really good.
You would think so, right?
I really do. Justin Herbert against that defense.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
That new offensive line trying to go up against the most feared pass rush in the NFL, I'm in.
Washington's got to get the quarterback situation settled.
I can't let this comment go. I can't.
Which one?
Alexander just said Tebow's going to take over for Lawrence week 5 to 7 and throw for 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and win a playoff game.
Come on, Sam.
I hope you're kidding.
Yeah.
Like, for the love of all that's good and holy, I hope you're kidding.
Right. We'll get there.
I'll get to Tebow.
We'll get there. Also, Stephen, no, the answer to that question is obviously no. You don't want to go 17-0 and then end up 19-1. I would not be happy with that at all. That's the thing. You know, Tom Brady. What was it during the draft? They were doing the draft-a-thon, and they had asked him something about the perfect season or how he regretted it.
Would you trade a ring for a perfect season?
And he said he would trade 2 of his rings to have the perfect season. I'm out.
That's what a lie. That's what a lie sounds like.
Out.
What's the entire reason for playing in the game? It's to win Super Bowls.
Exactly.
It's to win rings.
Exactly.
That's the entire point.
It's ring accumulation. And when you have 7, you can sit there and go, yeah, I'd trade 2 of those for a perfect season. Why not? Because that means I still got 5.
Right. Nah. It's like having $100 million and making $1 million donation and having your name put on a building.
No, I don't care about going undefeated. Would it be awesome to see? Absolutely, it'd be awesome to see a team go undefeated. But no, if it doesn't mean that you win that one game at the end, it's all for naught.
If the 2009 Patriots didn't go undefeated, I'd fail to see how anyone in the future is going to be able to.
18 wins, 1
giant
loss.
Eli, the Patriot killer. You're
it's
my
the only
man.
time you will ever hear me say something nice about the New York Giants.
Right.
Because it pained me It hurt a little bit for me to say that.
So we've got Chargers football team.
Yep.
It's going to be an excellent game. Cardinals Titans, Cleveland Browns, Kansas City Chiefs.
Circle that one.
Fuck yes. Sign me up for this.
Circle that one.
Because I want to see just how. Because here's the thing: we all look at this and we go, "Oh, Kansas City, they could destroy that team, right?" No,
not so fast.
No, they can't.
Not so fast.
No, they can't.
God, that might be the best game in the AFC. That's the two best. So yesterday on the ESPN Radio show, I put every team into a 4-win group: 0-4, 5-8, 9-12, 13-16. Because nobody's going 17-9.
Right.
The only two teams in the 13-16 tier in the AFC were the Browns and the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I didn't even see that one the first time I looked at the schedule.
I mean, it's a fantastic match.
You know what I marinated on? The Battle of the Birds, the Eagles and the Falcons. If they played that in the back parking lot, I swear to you, I would run my car into a telephone pole just so they would take me away from it.
I'm right there with you on that one.
Yeah, the NFC slate, or the Fox slate, not so great. Not so great.
Fox got screwed.
They got the Vikings and the Bengals, the 49ers and the Lions, the
Packers,
Eagles and the
Saints.
Falcons, the Seahawks and the Colts. That'll be a good one.
I'm going to disagree.
Ish.
Really?
I think the Colts are markedly better than the
I
Seahawks.
agree, but compared to the rest of these games?
Well, the rest of it's hot garbage.
Right.
What I want to know is the NFL still pissed at Fox for Donald Trump? Because that's the only thing that makes that make any sense. CBS got every great game, and Fox got a bag of wieners.
Broncos and the Giants and the Packers and the Saints. Those are their games.
Oh.
That's awful.
Exactly.
That is terrible.
It's not going to be great, but CBS is going to rule the day.
Chuck G's on fire today.
And unfortunately, we won't see any of it because we'll all be in Charlotte.
Chuck G's on fire today.
Yeah.
Hashtag birds aren't real.
He knows. The man knows.
Oh, and then we forgot, in Foxborough, the New England Patriots open up against the Miami Dolphins.
Smoked.
Yep.
That's a revenge game.
Like a Thanksgiving turkey.
That's a get just lit up like a Christmas tree game.
Uh-huh.
Cam Newton or Mac Jones against that improved Dolphins team.
It's Mac Jones, by the way.
I mean, Miami's been
I
waiting for
think it
this
is
since the
It's
Dan
Mac
Marino
Jones.
days. It's been 25 years since Miami's had this good of a chance at New England.
Yep.
Oh, they've beaten them a lot of times.
Yeah.
Do you realize that Miami's beaten New England at least once 7 years in a row?
I mean, yeah, that's going to happen. But Miami should dominate this series for the next 4 years. At least.
Alex Sanders said he had to scroll back to see what I said about his Tebow comment. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get to Tim Tebow, and I have some very pointed opinions.
Let's do that right now, actually.
Yeah.
That's the one game we skipped on this week one slate. The Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans. That will be on CBS at 1 o'clock Sunday, September 12th. So a lot of speculation has gone into this decision to bring Tim Tebow in on an undisclosed one-year deal, not as a quarterback, not as an outfielder, if you're talking about the New York Mets, but as a tight end, to put his hand in the dirt and block some of the meanest, most ferocious pass rushers in the NFC.
He won't get there.
So here's the thing. What's his name? Shad Khan owns the Jaguars. His son, Tony Khan, who's a member of the front office there in Jacksonville, had this to say about the deal. Obviously, Urban knows Tim very well, and Tim's got a great history of winning. Urban really believes he can help us. I think it makes a lot of sense at a position where we need to get better. We all know that this doesn't make any sense.
Oh.
How does this make any sense?
I'm going to let you two go, and then it's going to be...
It does make sense. It does make sense for the Jacksonville Jaguars, a struggling franchise who needs to make some inroads with their fans, try to show them that there's going to be something different about this team. The culture's going to change. And so this is Urban Meyer trying to play college football coach, and he's bringing in old Johnny Rah-Rah that he thinks is going to be able to, add some stability to our locker room. Because if you're making any other argument for Tim Tebow being on this team, other than just being the old man in the locker room who's going to give everybody the good little, the good Christian soldier who's going to keep everybody in line, you're out of your mind. He's going to have zero impact on this team, in my opinion. I would be shocked if he even makes the roster by the end of it. He may just be the mini camp story of the year, and then they let him go. Because if they try to trot him out there and legitimately play him on the football field, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a laughingstock, and everybody's going to go, can we fire Urban Meyer today?
No,
because it's a joke.
Tebow's going to get somebody killed if he gets onto the roster, and that's the thing. This has to be nothing more than a practice squad ploy. This has to be nothing more than a media blitz to get eyes on Jacksonville.
They want to sell some jerseys.
If you put Tim Tebow on the line and he's the one player that misses an assignment, guess what? Trevor Lawrence is getting killed, and you can't have that.
The guy has never blocked, in my opinion.
Not true.
He really?
He did with the Jets, and it ended poorly.
Okay.
He did block.
How about this? He's never blocked well. He's never caught a pass in an NFL game.
Before you go any further, I need to say this. I'm going to go ballistic about this the minute y'all are done.
I'm ready.
If you want to see me have a Brian Haynes level meltdown, about T-minus 60 seconds.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to pitch it to you right now. He's never been asked to play this position before, and we're supposed to believe that at 33 years old, he's in the greatest shape of his life.
He's been out of the league for 6 years.
Right.
6 years.
It's been I think it's been 8 years.
Maybe. He spent 5 years as an outfielder in the minor league system for New York.
Yeah. This guy has been playing minor league baseball for a while. I don't think this is going to go well. I think it's a complete stunt, and I think they're dumb for trying to convince us otherwise.
Jeremy, start screaming.
Let's, hey, there's my camera. I have to preface this with, I'm sorry, Roy. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the biggest minor league bullshit operation I've ever seen in a major sport in my fucking life. You have an owner that owns a pro wrestling organization. That's his claim to fame. And he looks like Cruella DeVille's brother-in-law. Shows up in trench coats and all this bullshit. And then you hire Urban Meyer, who has absolutely no track record in pro football whatsoever. And you do this for him to develop the best quarterback prospect I've ever seen. And so you do that, and Urban, all people like me are going, this is stupid. College coaches don't work in the NFL. It's never worked. Your one example is Jimmy Johnson. That was literally before I was born. That's the one example of a college coach that worked. So let's just take all those things aside. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Urban, good coach, fine. Crazy fucking owner owning a pro wrestling outfit. Might as well be Ted freaking Turner because that's who he started to remind me of. All that. I could have given you all of that. And then what do? You run a minor league baseball promotion by signing Tim Tebow. You might as well be giving out bobbleheads at the gate. It's the NFL. NFL teams don't do this shit. You know why? Because you don't have to. You don't have to bring in circus attractions to sell tickets. This is what baseball teams like the Oakland A's do. And you want to know why I give you so much shit? And I've caught more shit from Jaguars fans of, Urban Meyer knows more about football than you do. Your whole organization's a fucking laughingstock. You could have brought in a clown and it would have made more sense. You could have told me Tim Tebow was going to be the chaplain, and it would have made more sense than this. So you're bringing in a 3-ring circus. You might as well have people swallowing swords and juggling bowling pins that are on fire. Sweet God, I've been wanting to say that for 3 fucking days.
Tim Tebow is chaplain. I mean, I would hire him to more than a 1-year contract on that.
But that's just it. That's all he can be. And to think that, I heard them talking on ESPN Radio this morning about this very thing. And, I don't remember who it was. I guess maybe it was the GM that was doing an interview with somebody and said that Urban hadn't seen him, had only seen him once in the 3 times that he had worked out. And every time that he had worked out for the Jacksonville Jaguars coaches, they all came back and went, man, he looks good. No, they didn't. Don't give me that bullshit. They know the relationship between Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow, and there's no other answer for them to come back with. Because what has Urban Meyer done since he got to Jacksonville? He has shredded the fucking front office. They're all gone. I mean, it's like Houston all over again. They're ditching out all of the all of the old guard. Hell, they had, what was this story the other day? They had like 4 employees that were let go from their positions. One of them had been there since the inception of the franchise. Now, I don't, look, you come in, you're going to set your own culture, you want to start stuff off. That's all within your rights to do so. Mm-hmm. However, don't tell me that the actual football people in the room looked at Tim Tebow and went, yeah, he can help this team win. He can really help us win some games. No, he can't. He can sell you some tickets and he can get people to talk about your damn team because they're not worth talking about other than that. Sorry, Roy.
If that's the case, that you're doing this to sell tickets, you're not an NFL franchise.
No.
Right.
That's what the Durham Bulls and the Kannapolis Intimidators and the Bushwhackers and all these stupid minor league baseball teams do. Look, we got a cool new jersey, and we'll give it away at the door if you just show up and watch this god-awful product.
Right.
Does that sound familiar? Does that sound vaguely familiar to you? Oh, we've got to do all these fun things and bring in fans and Tim Tebow. There's no merit to him whatsoever. None. I've watched it. He played running back for the Jets. We tried this shit. Threw one pass, one target. If you look at his Pro Football Reference sheet, he had one target in his career. I remember it vividly. Mm-hmm. Let me give you the lineup of how this went. We had Tim Tebow lined up as an H-back because we'd been running these secret Wildcat practices that media members weren't allowed to see. It's still an absolute farce to every person that covers the Jets. And I know this because I'm friends with several of them. So we line him up in the backfield and he's this weapon. And first of all, Tim Tebow in a foot race is not that much faster than I am.
No, he's not.
I mean, I got news for you. He ran like a 4.7 the last time they clocked him. And that was quite some time ago. He was never fast. He was big. So it's not like he's a matchup nightmare or anything like that. Or he's so athletic that you just got to get him on the field. So anyway, we try this with him as an H-back. So he goes out in the flat. Anybody that's ever played a down of football in your life will tell you this is the easiest fucking route there is to run in the world. The only thing you have to do is keep your head slightly on a swivel. Mm-hmm. Because if a linebacker reads it, you can get dusted doing this. Mm-hmm. Totally get it. We throw a pass to Tom Tebow, which is what I'm going to call him from now on. Tom Tebow. Not only does he turn his head the wrong direction, he puts his hands out. Mm-hmm. So he puts his hands out, knowing he's getting the ball the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. And the ball hits him in the back of the head. That's Tom Tebow as a H-back in the NFL. It's a circus, and it's stupid. And if you ever notice, name me another team that's done anything like this. Anything. He's been out of the league for 8 freaking years. Mm. Name me another team in the NFL that goes, oh, we need to sell tickets and merchandise and ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Who else does that? Name me one.
And that's the point I'm about to make is Urban Meyer has to know. I mean, he knows, he's a professional, that he's not going to fill a stadium just by simply bringing Tim Tebow in. It's a minor ploy, but it's not going to affect your bottom line at all. It's not going to make any kind of difference. So my question is, why? What is this to clear Urban Meyer's conscience? Is this to say, well, I gave him a chance knowing it wasn't going to work out, and then, 1 year you cut the deal off and he's gone? It seems like he's trying to wash his hands because in no way is this a sensible business decision, sensible football decision. It's not a sensible decision in any way.
And there's actually a worse layer to this. Mm-hmm. That before, I busted a blood vessel I was getting to. You've hired a coach that there's already an aura of, is he going to tap out after 2 years? He's a college coach. Is this going to work? Mm-hmm. And you've got all this scrutiny because you just were gift wrapped the best quarterback prospect we've ever seen. And so you already have to be 110% on the smart scale because we're already doubting this anyway. Anybody that tells me they're willing to bet their house on Urban Meyer being a good NFL coach, I'll bet we'll go pink slip for pink slip. How's that sound?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so you do things like this, and all it does is give people like me and Colin Cowherd and other talking heads, it gives us all ammo. And Stephen Tow just asked me, well, here's a crazy thought. What if it works? Okay, what if it does? What if it does? What if the Urban Meyer thing does work? Cool. but we're not going to believe it until everything you do like this puts you behind the 8 ball more and more. This is just like the girlfriend that likes to do black tar heroin and keeps cheating on you. When she brings you a gift for your birthday, your immediate thought is, what did you do?
Right.
And I know that's a weird analogy, but let me explain it. You're already behind the 8 ball because there's been a litany of college coaches that have come to the NFL and failed. And I got news for you. They were just as smart, if not smarter, than Urban Meyer. Chip Kelly was the smartest guy in football for about 5 years.
Yep.
A lot of the things you see now, the spread elements and the RPO and all that shit, where do you think it came from? He was running it at New Hampshire 15 years ago. He went to the NFL. He thought he had the biggest dick in the room, and he thought he was the smartest guy in the world. And guess what? He got blown out in 4 years.
Yep.
And if you look at the track record of how many people were in that organization that were legitimate big-time NFL, either players, personnel guys, scouts, whatever the case may be. Think about how many GMs now work in the NFL that were with Philadelphia and left. I can tell you one. Joe Douglas is one of them. Because of the Chip Kelly era. And by the way, the GM that is now in Jacksonville, this is the same guy that had headbutty things with Jim Harbaugh. Who you think smarter as an NFL coach, Jim Harbaugh or Urban Meyer?
Right.
Because I'll take Jim Harbaugh, and I won't even think about
Every
it.
day of the week.
No doubt
about it.
This is minor league bullshit. This is
100%.
what this is. This is Bush League.
100%. This is Bush League bullshit. And here's the thing. If you don't want to be looked at that way, then you can't do things like this. You can't. Name me the worst team in the NFL.
The Houston Texans.
The Houston Texans. Do you think the Houston Texans are lining up to bring in, Christian Wood for a tryout or some dumb shit like that? Because Tim Tebow's been a baseball player for 8 years. I don't care what you were in a past life. That you're not Drew Henson. Because I heard somebody compare this to Drew Henson. Drew Henson went and played football, and then he came right back in. Drew Henson was one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the country. Tim Tebow was never that.
Yeah.
No,
He was never
not
that.
even close.
He was a bad draft pick by a Belichick acolyte that thought he was smarter than everybody in the room. And do you notice that every time somebody thinks they're smarter than everybody in the NFL, it never works?
No.
Ever. It never works. Every time you try to reinvent the wheel and look, I'm going to be smarter than blah, 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 blah. Steven just asked me, did Jim ever beat Urban? You're talking about college. This is the NFL.
Right.
Big damn difference. As a college coach, 100%. It's Urban and it's not close. In terms of an NFL coach, I'll take Jim Harbaugh 100 times out of 100. And I won't think about it. Money's the same. All the shit's the same. 100% give me Jim Harbaugh.
This to me strikes me though as like the high school coach who has a son. And he brings his son onto the football team even though he has no fucking ability. And he still plays him anyway.
We got a situation like that right here in Nashville.
Do we really?
Right here in town. I won't name names, but yep.
I'm just, we have seen this throughout history at like high school levels. And to me, this is like a high school level move. I'm not even going minor leagues anymore. I'm not even going college. I'm going to say this is a high school shtick of you're bringing in the most popular kid in your city because he has a good following out on the streets. We're going to bring him in here and change the culture of the team. Now, is it a good thing that a guy like Tim Tebow exists in an NFL locker room? Absolutely. Sure. But don't pawn this off to me as something other than it is. Jeremy was right. He used the right word. Tim Tebow is the chaplain of this team.
Yes.
He's the friggin' chaperone to the senior trip.
Well, here's the thing. He did have a killer mentor at Florida in terms of playing.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I should have known that was coming.
Should have prayed a little harder for Mr. Hernandez.
Oh, no. We don't need to go there. I mean, but you bring Tim Tebow onto this team, and you look at their depth chart. They got Chris Manhertz,
who is a blocker.
Hell, James O'Shaughnessy is still listed on their depth chart here.
Yeah, he's still on the team.
Oh my gosh.
I've forgotten about
That's
him.
my favorite guy to throw to when I get drafted by the Jaguars in Madden.
They just drafted.
Because he's slow as shit, but by God he can catch.
They just drafted Luke Farrell in the 5th round. They have already spot filler guys. Tim Tebow's not going to be anything other than a spot filler.
But here's the thing. All right, let's just say he is. Let's say he is. Let's say he comes in and he's athletic enough, and somehow playing baseball, he's become more athletic than he was 8 years ago playing quarterback.
Spoiler alert, he hasn't.
Yeah, he hasn't, but let's just, for argument's sake, say he has. Mm-hmm. What the fuck do you think you're going to get out of this guy? I mean, legitimately, let's say he's otherworldly athletic. You're going to try to teach him a position at 33 years old? No, you're not. It's just a shtick. That's all it is. And it makes you look like an idiot. You know what people around the NFL told me because I threw out some feelers just of how do people in the league see this? And nobody's willing to say this out loud, so I'll say it. It makes Urban look like a joke. It makes the whole organization look like a joke. And you know what the number one theme that I got when I sent this out? Because I sent this out to about 15 people that are affiliated with NFL, either beat writers or teams or whatever the case may be. You know what I got back drastically? Put yourself in Trevor Lawrence's shoes.
Yeah.
You just came out. You've never lost a regular season game in your life.
Right.
And now you're coming to a sideshow, and they're talking more about Tim Tebow than they are about you. Really? You don't think there's part of Trevor Lawrence that's sitting around going, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? Mm-hmm. Like, why did the Jets have to win a game?
Right.
Why did I not end up with the Jets?
Right, just immediately.
And don't you think about what I just said? The Jets, who are one of the most farcical franchises in sports and have been, I think that's improving. But still, this is one of the laughing stocks of the NFL. He's got to be sitting around going, son of a bitch, how did I not end up in New York?
Right, and Tommy Bradley has a great point in the comments. Like you said, is it worth giving up a roster spot for a dual threat chaplain / halftime speech motivator? And that's the thing, if you're Tim Tebow, you don't even have that ability anymore. You have to have some kind of command on the field in order to have some kind of command in the locker room.
I got news for you. Any player that's come out in the last 8 years that gets a Johnny Rah-Rah speech from Tim Tebow is going to look him dead in the face and go, hey, how about you go get fucked?
Right.
How about you get the hell out of my face again? Because that's exactly how that would go. You want to go Johnny Rah-Rah on me? You better have backed it up.
Oh, yeah.
You're 36 games and 17 and 9 horse shit. That's not going to fly.
Right. If I was a football player in that locker room, and I would constantly refer to him as Rumble Pony. Shut up, Rumble Pony. Stop talking to me. Like, go play baseball. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and I think it's ridiculous that everybody has, like I say, the NFL owns the news cycle so much that everybody's talking about, ooh, what does this mean? It doesn't mean anything. It means they want to sell tickets. It means they want to have people talking about the wrong things, because I agree with what Jeremy just said. You should be talking about Trevor Lawrence. You should be talking about Travis Etienne. You should be talking about the players that are actually going to make a difference on this team. Tim Tebow ain't it.
No.
And they're wasting time.
No. And that's the part of this, is you have to, and I'm going to use a line that I never thought I would use, and it's a line that my father used to use at me a lot when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Act like you've been there before. Even if you haven't, act like you've been there before. Because when you start doing things that draw attention to yourself, then people are looking at you.
Yeah.
And so every one of your little stupid decisions is blown up in a vacuum. And so you don't think, all right, let's just take the journey with it. Who did the Jaguars play week 1?
The Houston Texans.
All right, so you've been gift-wrapped a win in week 1.
Yep.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, that you play the Titans and the Colts the next 2 weeks, and you're going to get dusted. There's not a crime scene in America that has ever been dusted to the level that the Jacksonville Jaguars will be by those two teams. Mm-hmm. Now you're sitting here at 1-2. You don't think the pundits like us are going to go, how's that Tim Tebow thing working out for you? Because you're a joke. Mm-hmm. You're a joke. Mm-hmm. You want to know what the solution to this was? It was very simple. Keep your head down. Make decisions. Win football games. You're not expected to win much this year. Your goal is to 3 years from now be a competitive football team, because you have been a joke for quite some time.
You want me to piss you off again?
I want you to piss him off.
We just had another schedule leak. Week 5 in London. The New York Jets will play at the Atlanta Falcons, which means you're not going to get to go see them in Mercedes-Benz.
No!
I'm sorry.
No!
I'm sorry, buddy.
No! Oh, you son of a bitch! I was already in the booth.
He was.
I was spinning tracks with the DJ. Our biggest sponsor has a bar in the Falcon Stadium, and you sent that game to London.
Yep.
Ah!
Oh, no.
That plane ticket got a little more expensive.
I'm sorry, brother.
No! Oh! Damn the devil to hell!
Yep.
Well, it's not a foregone conclusion just yet that Tim Tebow plays in New York. They still have to actually get the deal signed.
I'm still pissed off about London. Oh, shit!
You're going to have to be pissed off.
We were just standing outside before the show started, and he was like, I'm going to get to see him 5 times this year because there's going to be, and Wicked Weed's got a bar in there, and we can go down there, and they might let me touch their DJ equipment. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Let me live my dream. No, how about this? I'm going to rip that game away from you like you're a child.
Why can I not have nice things?
Jolly England.
Why can I not have nice things?
I'm not going to England because the food sucks.
If I want a bag of chips, I'll go get a bag of chips. If I want French fries, I'll go get French fries. I don't know what fish and chips are.
I don't want fish in anything.
Freedom
ever.
fries.
Unbelievable. Can we talk about Tim Tebow now?
Do we still need to talk about Tim Tebow?
I think it's time to talk about some trolls.
Nobody needs to talk about Tim Tebow ever.
Yeah, here we are.
Hit that siren. We need to go on Troll Patrol.
It is time for Troll Patrol, and we got some vicious ones this week, don't we, Jeremy?
Yep. Tank's got the list in front of him. The first one will be undervalued players.
Undervalued players. All right. Tubal?
I'm going to go with that.
Tubal Kane says you could have gotten Sewell and Phillips. Bateman was gone at the 27th pick. Williams gone at 35. Kelvin Joseph, 44. So looks like many mock drafters underestimated the value of some players.
So the reason we use this one is that's actually not a bad comment.
Mm-hmm.
Typical.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand what people like myself, NFLDraft.net, what we do. We look at players on the whole.
Mm-hmm.
And so, did we undervalue Rashad Bateman?
No.
One team valued him more than us. Doesn't mean we undervalued him. If 31 teams see a guy as a second-round pick and another team sees him as a first, does that make him a first-round value? No. It means one team sees him that way. Eric Stokes, I'll give you a perfect example. Eric Stokes is a guy that a lot of us had in the 3rd round.
Yep.
Because we feel like there's a lot of raw talent, but you were coached pretty hard by Kirby Smart, and I've never seen you as an elite player. The Green Bay Packers saw him that way. He's still a 3rd-round talent. Oh, the Bills were going to take him. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. They got you. They were never taking him. Ever. It was Greg Rousseau, no matter what. That's how they went into the back end of the 1st round of the draft. And I had told Tank, and he can vouch for this, I had told him there's a team at the back end of the 1st round that's all in on Greg Rousseau. He's not falling out of the 1st round.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't figure out who it was. It was the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that, yes, he's a 1st-round pick. He's a 1st-round pick because the Packers see him that way. Doesn't mean we undervalued him. It means one team valued him more than we did.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make us right and them wrong. All right, let's say Rashad Bateman comes. I had Rashad Bateman as a 2nd-round pick because he had character issues. There's a litany of things. You'll be able to see all of those things
This upcoming NFL draft season at NFLDraft.net.
Right.
None of the fact Baltimore took him in the 1st round, it doesn't change any of that. He had 1st-round talent. He had 3rd-round personality.
Mm-hmm.
That blends into a 2nd-round pick. This is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think I undervalued. I mean, am I wrong in that?
No, I mean, I think it depends on who you trust. Whose opinion do you trust? See, I'm at the position where, I have a great resource in NFLDraft.net over here.
There it is.
That provides me with
NFLDraft.net. We scout, you shout.
Premiering August 1st. But no, I have a great resource of a partner who is very smart, has lots of, great opinions. He knows more about the X's and O's of football than I will ever know, and I'm completely fine with that. I will take what he says into consideration And if I don't like his opinion, I'm going to throw it over there. Just like when he continuously told me through the process that he didn't feel that Rashad Bateman was a first-round draft pick. And I kept going, no, I think he is.
On talent.
Absolutely.
You were undervaluing the character. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, had Baltimore not taken him, he would have fallen to Miami exactly where I told you he would.
Right.
Because Miami was a team that had already basically said, we don't view him as a 1.
Right.
Because of the character things.
The Javonte Williams thing. You got snaked by Denver. I mean, that was your number one problem was if you wanted him, if your team valued him, you can't be salty. He was on the board. You should have made a move to get up and get him, or you should have taken him at 18.
And see, that's the thing that people that do what I do, we catch a lot of bullshit when a player goes much higher or much lower than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
I actually take it more to heart when it's much lower. And WalterFootball.com, one of my favorite resources, know the guys quite well, consume mine and their content.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fine. They do a thing every year of why the slide, and they basically talk to scouts of what did these guys do, what was the thing. You know what the prevailing thought of why guys have gone lower than we thought they would was?
What's that?
Something came up on the medical.
Mm-hmm.
Jabril Cox, something came up on the medical. Mm-hmm. Jeremiah Wusu-Kormoa, he had a heart condition. Some teams took him directly off the board.
Why would you?
Straight up.
Why would you take the risk? Yeah.
Because they didn't have the chance to vet it themselves.
Right.
That doesn't mean we were wrong on the guy. I don't get NFL medical reports sent to me. Do you know how I found out about medical things? Usually the day after the draft. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because even with the little voice we have, there's a fear that a team is going to put out there that we don't have him on the board. He's going to drop like a rock, and then let's say he's good. Mm-hmm. Let's say he winds up to be good. The health thing never comes up. You don't want to be the team that passed on him needing him.
Right.
You've been attached to him. You don't want people like us putting that out there. So if your medical reports are the one thing that I get the least of. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have fears on the player's talent, I get a lot of that. And I said a lot of that with guys over the course of the process. Mm-hmm. If I hear medical things, they're bad. Bad.
Jeremy, you've got your ear to the ground on all this, so I want to ask you, when it comes to evaluating these prospects, obviously medical issues you can't do anything about. Sometimes these are conditions that these players are born with, and you just have to live with it or not draft them. That's your decision. Character issues are a choice that you make, and the ability of your how high your ceiling is, if you can gain and improve and grow, that's also on you to a certain extent, deciding how good your athletic ability is. So if you're evaluating these prospects like a Rashad Bateman, who should be a second rounder but gets drafted up in the first, what's more important? Is the character issue, does it ever outweigh the ability of a player to grow?
100%. That's the Warren Sapp rule. Warren Sapp allegedly had a pot problem at Miami. Teams like the Jets that could have really used Warren Sapp passed on him. He fell right in Tampa Bay's lap. How smart did they look?
Didn't work out well.
It didn't work out for the Jets because we took Kyle frickin' Brady, who I think runs a Hyundai dealership now, and we passed on Warren Sapp.
Sapp's an all-time great.
The question about character issues, the thing you have to understand with people that do what I do is we have to blend this for 32 teams. Mm-hmm. I'm not drafting for one team, although NFLDraft.net. Now I have a cool new idea that's going to kind of blanket these things out. It's going to be a link on my page of basically I'm the 33rd team.
Yeah.
So I draft for myself, and that's what. It's a different idea. I've never seen anybody do it. It may not work, but I kind of like the idea because then you would more see what I would do for me. I'm not projecting what you would do.
Right.
I'm not projecting what fits 32 teams trying to shoehorn it into one. No, I'm going to tell you who, I'm going to put me right in the middle of each round. This is who I would take. Mm-hmm. And that kind of tells you the guys that I'm really high on.
Right.
Chase Claypool would have been my second-round pick last year. Mm-hmm. It kind of tells you where I'm at. I think it's an interesting idea. I'm still tinkering with it. But
I like it. I like that idea.
The thing about the thing that you have to look at with character issues is character issues can put you on the front page of the newspaper. They can put you in the A block of the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, of Sports Center, of all those things. Because if you have a guy with character issues and he goes out and does something stupid and hits a guy with a car or breaks a guy's jaw in a bar fight or whatever the case may be, then you look stupid. Because the red flags, we know all of the red flags. I mean, straight up. I can tell you every player in the first round Micah Parsons is the one that somehow skated it a lot. There are some weird things that went on with Micah Parsons. If he goes to the Cowboys and does something dumb, and guess what? Those are going to flood back. And you're not going, and you'll go, I've never heard that. Yeah, you did, because I said it a bunch of times. Walter Cherebinsky said it a bunch of times. A lot of other draft evaluators said it a lot of times. And it tends to come out when they get in trouble again. Marco Wilson that went to the Cardinals.
Shoe thrower.
Yeah, threw a shoe against LSU that cost him a game. The thing about, he's a really good example because he fell. He was a second or third round talent that went in the 4th or 5th round.
Fifth.
I think it was the 5th. I know he went reasonably early on day 3. That's all going to come out if he ever gets in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Ever. I mean, it's something myopic. It'll be, well, why did you take a risk on this guy? The Cardinals have a reputation for taking players and not caring about character and all that, because that's how that goes. So to what you asked me, does character ever outweigh it? Absolutely. There are guys that I would 100% never have on a board. Aaron Hernandez. And I know how bad it went. I got news for you. That wasn't news to anybody.
Right.
There was nobody that had been in this for more than 10 seconds. Because guess what? Aaron Hernandez, I wasn't even in the business yet, and I knew about it. I knew there were some sketchy, weird things that went on with him in Connecticut.
Yeah.
It's the reason he only got recruited to teams in the Northeast.
I think Tubal's comment, though, just speaks to...
I said that. Hold on. That's the reason that his parents wanted him to go to a school in the Northeast. He wound up at Florida, and a lot of people went, nah, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
You're getting away from the loving thing, and it's not going to end well.
And where did he end up? Back up north.
Yep, he wound up back in the same place with and bad shit happened.
Right. I think the comment speaks to, not necessarily underestimating the value of players themselves, but estimating the value that teams have on those players.
Correct.
I think it's kind of, splitting the hairs in a sense.
Who's next on that list, Tank? We got somebody who's upset with their grade.
Ray Santana. C-, scratching my head. Jalen Ramsey was part of this draft slide. Him as the Rams' #1 pick. The Rams get an A+. Come on, man.
So this is something that we're going to do starting next week. We'll be giving off-season grades. That's when I factor in what you traded picks for. Your draft class itself, I only take your draft capital. I don't look at anything else. I don't give a fuck what you got. I care about what you did with the picks that you drafted. Now, when we look at a full all-season grade for the Rams, I'm going to take into account that the reason they didn't have first-round picks is because they got Jalen Ramsey. And, yes, that will push up the grade. That's just something. I got a lot of that with draft class grades. I am only grading the value of the player you took when you selected. That's it. I don't look at anything else. And that's the reason that teams like the Texans got killed and a team like Carolina. I was pretty nice to Carolina, but I felt like they've reached at 8. The lower in the draft you go, the more you're allowed to reach. If you reach in the top 10, it's going to hurt you markedly. The Rams, I like what they did to a point, but I felt like there were better value players there. Bobby Brown, that's a guy that I absolutely love. That guy was a good enough value to move their letter grade by a full letter. So they went from a D- to a C-, just on that one guy.
Right.
And that's one thing I don't understand about these Homer fans is that why can't you grasp when someone is honest about your team? Why does your team have to get an A+ in the draft? Why can't you look at these guys and say, well, I mean, it was decent. Bobby Brown is a good pickup. Ernest Jones, the linebacker out of South Carolina, not a bad pick, but maybe not the great pick. What makes this deserving of an A+ draft? I just don't see it. And I don't see why the fans can't see it either.
I can explain that, and I think Tank will echo exactly what I'm getting ready to say. One of the things that has changed about the dynamic of what we do since I got into it 4 years ago, and I'm sure it's changed drastically since Tank got into it, because he's been in it way longer than I have.
Yeah.
No longer, there are a lot of people that don't want our opinions. They want their opinion to come out of our mouths.
Yep.
They want somebody attached to ESPN to validate what they think.
To regurgitate.
Because there are fans out there that think their team's going 17-0 every year.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how bad there are Jacksonville Jaguar fans out there that think the Jaguars are going 17-0. Those people drive me absolutely batshit crazy.
Meanwhile, in reality.
However, I will say, I get defensive of my own team. If I hear somebody like Colin Cowherd, Dan Patrick, Skip and Shannon, any of those guys, if I hear them say something negative of my team, I go, well, fuck you. The difference is I say it to myself, and I don't. And then I think about it and I go, you're probably right.
That's the key.
I don't feel the urge to go keyboard warrior and go, you're dumb. You sounds incredible dumb. and I'll be honest with you. I enjoy the people that tell me I'm an idiot just as much as I do the people that say, we love you. Well, that's not true. I love the people that say they love us a little bit more. But, I mean, I respect your opinion. I'm never going to lie to you. That's the one thing that when we started doing this, I said, you're going to get my opinion, period. Yeah, and you're never going to have to question how I feel about anything, ever. Especially when it comes to the draft, because I put a shitload of work into the draft. These two can comment to this.
Oh, God.
There was a lot of work that goes into the draft for me, for them. I wrote to the men and do a lot of my work.
I never realized.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Had a good time.
Made it much easier not having to do it all by myself, which was cool. And expanded and all that thing, and that's the reason we can do all of these new cool things.
Right, but fans are never going to be they're never going to be rational about their own team.
Oh, of course not.
I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, and
that's
it's
on
part
the
of
whole.
the thing that I love about sports is the fact that we can all just be completely over the moon dumb about our teams. And I mean, look at me for example. I mean, every time I get the chance, I got to throw something in. I got to throw in a fire the cannons or refer to the Kansas City Chiefs as the Super Bowl runner-ups or whatever. Like, I love being insufferable about my team. It's part of the passion of sports. It's why we do what we do. You're allowed to disagree with me. If I think you guys got a D+ on your draft grade and you're like, screw this, I love everything we did, cool.
You're allowed to.
Right, we disagree.
A fan. That's what you're expected to do.
Right.
And you said fans are never going to be rational. I disagree with that. I think there's a large portion of fans that are rational.
Yeah, but when I say fans, I mean the fanaticals.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, there's a subset that no matter what, they're going to hop on their Reddits and they're going to hop on their message boards.
Right.
And somebody at Houston Texan for life is out there putting out draft grades and everything's an A+. Cool. You can consume that guy.
Yeah. Let's see how that goes.
That's fine. I'm not going to pander to you.
Talk to me in 17 weeks.
Well, I'm just not. You know, here's the thing. I have to keep doing this year in and year out. And if you go back and look at my grades for, year in and year out, the misses drive me absolutely batshit crazy. Justin Jefferson will haunt me for the next decade. Because, and it wasn't even that I didn't like him. I didn't like him where he went. And I didn't like him compared to the other receivers in class. You know, it wasn't that I said, he's not going to be in the league 3 years from now. I didn't like him enough. Those bother me more than the hits.
All right, so we've got Michael Daly here on the Troll Patrol talking about his Chargers. I think the guys who are too slow, too small, too something seem to always produce. I think it's that chip on the shoulder that motivates them. Thanks, y'all rock. Go Bolts, the other LA team. Now, see, he doesn't fall in the fanatic category. This is a guy who can be honest about his team.
This is a thinking man.
And the reason I wanted to do this comment is to just reinforce something that I said a lot through the draft coverage. The NFL's changing. The days of 6'5" wide receivers, that shit's over.
Oh, yeah.
That's done. Done.
That's a tight end or a corner.
100%. I mean, now you're looking at small, fast, shifty, because the way the game is played has changed. And I'll be honest with you. You know what I saw more of this year than I think I've ever seen in the pre-draft process?
What?
Offensive linemen that weighed less than 295 pounds. You know why? Because now it matters if you can get out in space. It matters if you can pull. It matters if you can set an edge in an RPO. It matters if you can get around the tackle to block off the guy on the edge. That's the way the game's played.
Yep.
And so now you look at guys that, and I'm going to use my team just solely because I've done a lot of work on the Jets draft. You look at a guy like Jamie Sherwood. This is a guy that 10 years ago would have been a much higher pick. Because the fact that he wasn't that fleet of foot didn't matter because he could lay timber as a safety. Well, now it matters because you got a guy like Tyreek Hill that even with a 15-yard head start, if you're not pretty quick, he can still run by you.
Absolutely.
And so now that guy becomes a linebacker. And you look at somebody like Hamza Nasruddin that the Jets are drunk on. Just throwing that out there. Every Jets person I've talked to has raved about this guy.
And you're cautiously optimistic about that?
The more they talk, the happier I get.
Really? Okay.
Who knows Rob Salah's defense better, me or him?
Him.
There you go.
Yeah.
He is hammered drunk on this guy. And you took away my biggest opposition on him, which was he couldn't cover a wet napkin.
Right, if you're going to play him at linebacker.
If you're going to play him at linebacker, that's fine. He's a 6'4 linebacker. Sweet.
Give him a bubble.
And
Give
he's
him a
fast
zone.
for a linebacker.
Yeah.
Slow for a safety, fast for a linebacker. You're just seeing a lot more of these things now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's making the draft much more fun for people like me, and it's making it much harder. So one of the things that we'll have next year with prospects is guys that could shift positions depending on the scheme. So safeties that could be linebackers that could become edge guys, on and on and on.
Yeah.
And that's part of the fun of the game now is kind of the ambiguity of these positions. You're talking about the lightweight of these offensive linemen now. And I can remember multiple times in the last couple of years where you've had an eligible versus ineligible kind of controversy. You line up an offensive lineman who's played the line the entire game, but this time he checks in as an eligible receiver. Mm-hmm. He's wide open. He walks in for the touchdown.
Well, and that's the thing is you look at guys like Deontay Smith that played at East Carolina. Obviously, being a little connected to the program, I knew that guy a little better than most. Probably, I'd go 5 years ago, he would have been converted to tight end because he's fast for a tackle, but he's never. I mean, I want to say he was listed at 290. If he's 290, I'm 340 because he is markedly thinner than that, and he's got a thin frame. He's never going to add tremendous amounts of weight. But this is a guy that the Bengals took, and they project him to be a right tackle in the future. They think they can hide him at guard right now because he's so fleet of foot that he can get out on a pull.
Right.
But they think they can teach him to be a right tackle in spite of the fact that he's probably never going to weigh more than, I would say, 290. That's probably the highest he will ever be able to sustain weight. And it doesn't matter because the league's getting so much smaller.
Yeah.
I see. We've got let's see. This one's actually decent. We got a Justin Fields comment next. What's Reggie got to say?
Oh, Reggie Cheese. I think he's bemoaning a point that became irrelevant as soon as Fields dropped out of the top 10. The Bears got great value for a franchise quarterback and could thank the BS pre-draft narratives for it. Hashtag bear down. Go ahead. I know you want to rip into this.
I actually don't.
Okay, good, because I don't either.
I actually don't want to rip into this. I want to state that his point is absolutely right.
Yep.
It's misguided to me.
Okay.
So if you're sending it to me, then it's misguided. And that's what I'm gleaning is to talk about me beleaguering a point. If you had Justin Fields as the 12th best player in the draft, and he's a quarterback, and you trade up to, what they go up to? 11 to get him? You give up a future first-round pick, all those things. If you see him as that, then you're right. I don't. I never have.
Yeah.
I had Justin Fields in the 30s in terms of overall grade in this class because I think he needs work. So, I agree with the point. Every player has a value. That's one thing that I think when we do draft grades and stuff like that, I think people lose sight of that. I'm not saying that Justin Fields should have gone undrafted, which is what people make it sound like we're saying.
Right.
I had a lower grade on him, a second-round grade on Justin Fields, because that's where I would have been comfortable taking him. Because in the second round, I can sit him behind somebody for a year, teach him to be a pro, teach him the speed of the game, because he had a lot of things at Ohio State that were earmarked for him. One of the things that you will notice about teams like Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, a lot of their quarterbacks tend to struggle the first year in the league because they had such outrageous talent around them that the game never really sped up for them. It only sped up when you saw them playing each other. But you see an Ohio State playing a Northwestern, and it looks like one team's at Mach 10 and one's at not.
Right.
So
Not.
Not moving.
Stuck in wet concrete. And the thing of that is that you get to a point where the jump is so marked that I don't want to see you do it quickly. And that's where I'm at with Justin Fields. That's why I don't agree with the point that he was a value to me. If the Bears viewed him that way, then absolutely he was a great value.
He was a great value. You give up a first-round pick for a guy who can be your franchise quarterback. He doesn't have to be great to be the best quarterback that the Bears have had since Sid Luckman. He doesn't have to be otherworldly. Would you like for him to be? Absolutely. Does he have the potential to be? I believe he does. I believe he's got the opportunity to grow and learn. And now, as far as the coaching goes and what he's going to be able to glean from Matt Nagy and whoever his quarterbacks coaches are, that's out of my hands. But this is why when you crucified the trade on draft night, I was like, you're wrong, because this is what the Chicago Bears needed to do.
It was a 4
was
for
to
1.
get a franchise quarterback.
The trade was awful because you took away the most. There's a reason that teams treat first-round picks like gold, and now you've got 3 teams next year between the Eagles, Giants, and Jets that have 7 first-rounders between the 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guess what? Those teams are going to get markedly better in a hurry.
Absolutely.
And I look at a team like the Bears with a guy that I think you're going to need to have good talent around, and you just gave away one of your abilities to acquire that talent.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I have a problem.
Right.
I don't ever want to give up first-round picks unless I feel really good about what I've got around a guy. San Francisco, I like Tebow Samuel. I like Brandon Ayuk. I've got George Kittle. I think I could put any running back behind that line, and they're going to accumulate yards so long as they're a scheme fit.
Okay.
I look at that and go, that's fine. I look at Justin Fields and go, you lost a first-round pick, and your receiving core is going to be 2 tight ends with Jimmy Graham and Cole Kmet, Allen Robinson, and then Darnell Mooney, and Anthony Miller that you were talking about trading before the draft, and David Montgomery. I don't like that. That, to me, you put a guy in a position to fail. That doesn't change that, yes, he was a value if that's how you view him. I don't like the value you got because of what it cost you to get him.
It just sounds like a desperation pick, does it
It's
not?
100%
For Chicago,
desperation
4 years ago, I'm reading this ESPN article here, Mitch Trubisky was the result of a trade-up by Chicago. They needed a quarterback then. They got what they thought would be a franchise quarterback, and that didn't turn out too well. Now you're left with Andy Dalton. The number 3 pick passes, and Justin Fields is still on the board. And at this point, you're going to do whatever it takes to get a semi-competent quarterback into the fold. I think you got more than that with Justin Fields. You just had to sell your soul to get there, and it is going to come back to bite Chicago in the very near future. Because you gave up your first rounder and a 5th rounder this year, a 1st and 4th next year. I mean, that's high draft capital. That's gold and tungsten, I mean, if you will, between the 1st and 5th round. A lot of draft capital you're giving up. I think we've got
But you secured a quarterback for the future.
Right.
That's
And you got
that
what
you're
you
putting in a
needed
bad situation.
that you're putting in a bad situation.
Yeah, I hope he survives, frankly.
Oh, I think he's going to do better than you guys think he will. All right, you got to hit the siren for this one, because this one's definitely worthy of the troll.
We haven't done.
Oh, we'll do it. We'll do it after this.
Okay.
Because honestly, the comments haven't been all hatred filled.
No, they've
until now, thanks to Astro Hawk.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
You guys are fucking idiots. Delete your channel. Laughing my ass off, fucking airheads. Yes.
No.
Agree to disagree, but I love the passion. Bring it every video.
Keep it coming, man.
Yeah, you can call me a fucking idiot all you want to.
Right.
I frankly, would you like to? I didn't tell them where this came from. Where would you like to guess this comment came from?
This
Houston,
comment
probably.
came from...
Ring that damn bell. He's exactly right.
Really?
It was off a Houston Texans video.
What? Unbelievable.
Yeah, because
No
we
way.
said the Houston Texans are the worst team in the NFL.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's not even vaguely close. And I cannot wait to sit back and laugh when Houston's... If Deshaun Watson doesn't play, they will go 0-17.
Over.
We played a fun game, was it yesterday?
Yep.
Of, is this somebody on the Houston Texans too deep? Or a pro golfer ranked from 200 to 300 in the world golf rankings? Tank got exactly
One of them.
One of them I got right, and it was a total guess. I had no idea. Some guy, like Scotty Barnes or something. Like, yeah, I could see that jackass being on
Scotty Barnes plays for Florida State.
No, I don't even like I said. I don't even remember the guy's name. It sounded like yeah, that sounds like a douchebag name that would have grew up on a golf course. He's a golfer.
Guessing is
That's
what
the
got
only
us
one I
this
got
far, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, man. Yeah, for a second there, I thought this might be someone like A.J. Hawk or somebody who matters, and then I see Astro Hawk. It's like,
no, and we appreciate Astro Glide's comments here, but I mean, we encourage everyone disagree with us. We like it.
100%.
Of course,
If you think we're
That's why we're here.
airheads, fine. And as long as you're commenting on the video, I can give a fuck less what you think about me.
Yeah. I love people that think I'm an idiot.
Right. My whole job is to be entertaining. And at the end of the video, if you feel one way passionate that, oh my God, that was a great video, or at the end, Jesus Christ, that was dumb, you know what? You watched my video, you commented on it, and hopefully you'll keep doing it.
Yeah, love me or hate me, just don't be apathetic to me.
That's how I got hired around here. Jeremy told me that, and I said, I'm in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Guys, it's been a lot of fun this morning. I really like this NFL draft talk, and keep in mind the full schedule release coming tonight, 8 o'clock. It's it's going to be worldwide, but it's going to be happening right here in the Wicked Weed studio, live from Asheville, North Carolina. It's brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing. Drink different. Also, go to that Patreon link. I know, Jeremy, you're ready to beat your head on a wall if somebody asked you about this link again. So go ahead and put that out there.
Yep. So this is Patrick Holt has his own slide as a founding father. That's not the only one. It just takes me a minute to do these. So I'm going to throw this up there. These are our Patreon producers, Justin Parton, Kevin Vick, Scott Cutshall.
Yes.
This will be put up on the screen every day at the end of the video. This is one of the things you get with the Patreon. I will also be sending out invites to the Facebook group that you become a part of when you do this later on today. It was a little bit more difficult than I thought it was. So I didn't forget about you. Just got to figure out how to do stuff. That's the reason we did that. And by the way, I have to say this too, because I asked this question a few times yesterday. The Patreon subscription lasts until August 1st. This is our off-season package. We're rounding everything into form. So it's only one payment. It's going to show that it's going to auto draft again on the 1st of what, June?
Yeah.
This is May. Yep. So
end of
June.
month.
It's not going to. I have to go in and batch all of you together to change your subscription dates together. So it will say that. That's not true. It lasts until August 1st. You will have all the content, all of the things. And we appreciate you greatly.
Absolutely.
Come join the family. It's a great place to be here on the Sportsocracy. Also, if you need more content from the guys both on my right and on my left this afternoon, 3 to 5. If you're in the Asheville area, 92.9 FM on a couple of AM sticks as well, or you can check it out worldwide wherever you have internet access on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Caleb Peak. He's Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
Yeah.
We're in the Wicked Weed studio. Drink different. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. right here on the Sportsocracy.